welcome back everybody. So make sure you hop onto Teespring and get our normal summon Alistair response design before it is gone, because by the end of the month it will be. And today we're talking about how to beat Invoked Shaddoll with or without Dogmatika. This deck is probably my least favorite out of this and Dragon Link. I'd honestly rather play against Dragon Link. If like just being serious, I'd rather play against Dragon Link. But I think Dragon Link's probably the slightly better overall. But I don't know. Cyber Dragons, guys, I'd rather play against Dragon Link all day, every day. But today we're going to cover a combo. We're going to watch it. We're going to talk about how do you beat this deck. And I guess without further ado, we have a test hand here. We have Fleur, Meltdown, Disparity, Hedgehog, and Nadir Servant. So when they open Meltdown without Alistair and Invocation, it's because they already have their pot and their Nadir in hand as well. So they're going to open up with the Meltdown. Don't ash the Meltdown. I never ash the Meltdown because they always have Alistair in hand. I would rather ash the Alistair and hope they didn't open Meltdown, Alistair, and Invocation. Plus they already committed their normal summon then. So then they're going to always lead off. If they have it, they will always lead off with the invoked play. If their first line of play is normal Ecclesia effect, ash it. If they normal Ecclesia, use the effect, you ash it. Like, it's really not surprising there. That's just my opinion. I mean, I guess they could use that Ecclesia to bait and then say Nadir, send the app cologne and start doing that. And get it like a Winda in your play, but I don't know. I'd rather play through a Winda as well than I would Punishment and possibly more in hand. So I would ash that Ecclesia. At this point, Gamma is super strong because they can't get an extra deck monster on board easily then, and it doesn't go to the graveyard. So if they open Invocation, they'd have to use like their hand, and a lot of time would be dark monsters. And I don't think most play Invoked Kaliga. Card's actually kind of good, and I have seen some play it, but overall not super popular. But anyway, then obviously Alistair searches out the Invocation link for Artemis, Invocation to get a Makaba, and that's 3 summons, guys. So this is why Nibiru's not good. You're going to need multiple disruption if they Nibiru. As soon as they activate Invocation, Lancia, that's a good time to drop a Lancia because they can't banish the Alistair. They would pretty much need Alistair in hand. Or in this instance, if they activate Invocation, they have to summon Construct if they have it. Shaddoll and Light Monster. They can't just say, oh, I can't do anything because I can't banish Alistair. If they have the monsters in hand, they have to summon one of their legal targets. So just keep that in mind, and that can actually really hurt their plays. I mean, in this instance, I would be able to get a free Shaddoll monster. Construct could send a card if I could put a body on board, like if I sent Schism, and then, or I guess they'd just link off Construct. They'd summon Construct here and then link off in a Gravity Controller, get that Schism back. So even then, like, they can play through Lancia a little bit there. So keep that line of play in the back of your mind. So if they summon Construct here or their Shaddoll here, like Construct's going to send the Schism, they're going to summon Gravity Controller, and then Construct obviously went to the graveyard and grabbed that Schism back. And Schism is the problem card. It's not going to get hit. I know it's not. And is it ban worthy? No. Limited? I mean, I guess, but it's really not going to hurt the consistency. It hurts the grind game if you limit it. But I don't see any hits to it whatsoever. It'll be the invoked engine that ends up getting hit, if anything. But anyway, we're going to continue on with the combo here now that we're kind of protected from hand traps and disruption. If I opened Infinite Permanence at this point, if I didn't use it already on the Alistair, I would hold it in hand. Odds are Makaba, if they don't have a trap, you could probably get away with negating something else, but I'd just save it for my turn and force the negate, because I know it's going to bait something out or it's going to negate something. Anyway, the Nadir, we send the app cologne, which adds the Schism to our hand, and then we can discard a Shaddoll and gain the effect. I just grabbed one for the sake of this video, which ends up being Squamata. And then we're going to special our Ecclesia because Nadir is broken. Grab our Punishment, and we also opened Fleur. Like this hand, it was the first test hand I did, and it was the perfect hand. Like, I get a free dig at the end. I just went for 6 to see what I could do. If this was an actual game, I would only do 3. Anyway, like I said, we do 6 just to see what we can do. We see Ice Dragon right off the top. Like, that's just insane. This could not have gone better, and if we only did the 3, being able to end with Schism, Punishment, Ice Dragon, Alistair still in hand, Makaba, Fleur, like, broken. Insane. Oh, and keep in mind too, Schism, you can't negate it if they have Meltdown up. You can hit it with like a Cosmic or a Twisters or a Quick Play Destruction, but they can negate with Makaba or with Fleur. So, yeah, like Meltdown really makes Schism broken. Meltdown to 1 is going to be the hit that we end up seeing when Invoked inevitably gets hit after all of these years. So we kind of covered hand traps. Drone Lockbird, really good. Obviously, if you can't see why Drone Lockbird's good against this deck, I don't know what to say. Meltdown, add Alistair, Droll, okay, pass turn. Maybe set a couple traps, pass turn. So Droll and Lockbird really, really strong versus the deck. Kind of covered other hand traps. I mean, chaining, or like Alistair, as soon as it goes to the grave, you DD Crow and banish it. Now, if they have Invocation, they'd have to use all monsters like in their hand, or, you know, if they have another Alistair, I guess they have some plays, but that DD Crow, don't chain it to the Invocation, because then if they summon something from their hand, they can still banish it to get the Alistair back. You do it before the Invocation, just to hopefully prevent it from activating at all. Skullmeister, I mean, you can hit like their Shaddoll cards in the grave, but again, they usually have Makaba before that, so kind of have to, you know, be a little bit leery there. Obviously, things like Abyss Dweller, things like Silent Graveyard, turning off their graveyard is very, very important, because Shaddolls do a lot in the graveyard, and not just Shaddolls, like Titaniclad, another card in the graveyard. Lightning Storm, you're going to have to play through a negate, but they probably, more often than not, would have a spell in hand. Even that pot, you could have just kept it in hand, because I wouldn't have the IDP then, but I'd be able to be a little more flexible with the Makaba as far as a monster or a spell negate. The only reason I went ahead without it was because we did open Fleur, so we got that can negate a face-up. I guess that's face-up monster though, so can't really negate a spell or a trap. The proper play probably would have been just end with the Schism, the Punishment, and the Fleur, and the Makaba. Keep the spell in hand for a spell and trap negate. If you're looking to play this deck better, that would probably have been the smarter line of play. But anyway, you're going to have a couple negates. You're going to have multi-pops to deal with. You're going to have insane recursion to deal with. You're going to have a trap card that can keep summoning once per turn that you can't even negate it. Like, the deck can be really, really strong. Back row hate Lightning Storms. Again, they got the negates. Chaining, like Cosmic Cyclone, as we mentioned, is Cosmic Cyclone is by far the best card against this back row, because there's Shaddoll cards like Construct, like Winda, they just get Schism back if you destroy it anyway, so banishing it is much, much better. Yeah, that's kind of that. If Lancia, like say you Lancia them and they end up getting into a Makaba anyway, and then say you go to Nibiru them that same turn, they can't use Makaba if Lancia already resolved, because it is mandatory to banish off its effect. So keep that in mind as well. Evenly matched can actually be really, really good versus the deck, because a lot of time they'll end with like two monsters, you know, Meltdown. They'll have like at least, you know, 5 cards committed on board, and you can evenly them, and a lot of time they won't have a trap in hand for Makaba to negate with, so evenly matched can be really, really strong. Again, in this case we opened Fleur because we opened Insane, so we would be able to negate it that way. But yeah, the deck can just do so much, and it has a lot of room for hand traps too, like just stopping the Alistair, like Gamma, like the other hand trap hits that we mentioned. I don't know, like, can't even think. Drone Lockbird is just crazy versus it. Red Reboot, you know, that one-off counter trap, pretty strong. Otherwise, just play it out smart. Like, you don't have to do everything at once. Keep in mind, like, their line of plays. Like, don't just rush in bullheaded and say, okay, I might be able to do this or this or this, and destroy that and be in an okay position, because then again on their turn, like, you destroy the Schism, you play through the Punishment, you played through the negate, they didn't have that extra 2 disruptions, okay, but you couldn't really end them, and you ended awkwardly, and you don't have disruption now. They just go into a simple link or such, their Construct, their Window, whatever, goes to the grave. They get their Shaddoll fusions back. They get their El Shaddoll fusions back. They get the Schisms back. Like, the deck, they have Alistair still in hand. They summon Alistair again and get Invocation again. You need to, like, more importantly than breaking their board, you need to have disruption to stop them. If you can't win on your turn, you need at least 2 disruptions to prevent them from being able to, well, just do it all again, because that's the really strong point of this deck. Is the grind game is insane, the recursion is insane, the recovery is insane. So yeah, that's kind of that. You hope your hand traps enough, and then you end on multiple disruption. If you can break their board, awesome, amazing. It is not impossible, it's just hard, I guess is the best way to put it. Hopefully this video helped you guys learn a little bit about beating Invoked Shaddoll. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did we miss? What do you guys do? What do you side for the matchup, other than like Drone Lockbird if you're not maining it? If you're going first, like I said, Silent Graveyard's actually pretty good against them. Summon Limit, really good versus them. Alistair, Artemis, oh, Summon Limit. Yeah, that one's gonna hurt. So let me know what you guys do down below, and thanks for watching.